A lot of people say the same thing every year, and it becomes a hot topic, especially in spring. And that's that you shouldn't dethatch, aerate your lawn, or even seed in spring. And honestly, that advice is why a lot of lawns don't improve. So today we're breaking down all three of those myths and whether or not you should do them.
Most lawn care is blanket statement. It doesn't account for your lawn type, your microclimate, your lawn goals, and spring is a really high stress time. It could be a short season for some people. You have massive temperature swings. So by default, most people just tell homeowners don't touch anything and don't do anything important during the spring.
Myth number one, you can't dethatch your lawn in spring. People say don't dethatch because it's too aggressive. And yeah, it can damage your lawn if it's not done right. You're gonna wanna wait till the grass is actively growing and thriving. The issue here is that you don't wanna wait too long because the grass also needs plenty of time to recover before the summer heat arrives. And if you choose to dethatch after you apply pre-emergent, you can weaken that weed barrier and it won't be as effective.
The biggest issue is people think dethatching means you're ripping out your lawn, but it's not. It's just getting up the debris in a gentle way and clearing up that thatch layer. Some people will drop tines way too low and basically renovate their lawn by accident, when in reality, maintenance dethatching should just be light. You're opening up the canopy, you're letting the air flow, you're letting the nutrients and the water get down to the soil where it needs to go.
So here's when it actually makes sense. When you're planning on overseeding or doing a seeding project to get that crucial seed to soil contact, you have a heavy thatch layer. We're talking about over ½ an inch of thatch, and this is especially true with a Kentucky bluegrass lawn. If you've had any winter damage or snow mold that you need to fluff up to increase airflow, maybe you just inherited a neglected lawn, or you're just getting into lawn care and this is your first time going about it. There are plenty of times where spring dethatching can be beneficial, especially when it's done properly and at the right time. It's also worth noting that in the hot summer months, this can actually help benefit some of the disease pressure that your lawn may experience in the months upcoming. So as much as it might look like it when you're doing a dethatching project, don't think of it as destruction to your lawn. Think of it as a small step backwards, only to gain momentum to get more strength in the long run.
Myth number two, you can't aerate in spring. Aeration breaks up the pre-emergent barrier, which can invite weeds. It can also cause some root stress during active growth. So yeah, fall is the best time.
And here's the flip side. If your lawn's already compacted, it's probably stressed. And if it's not stressed now, just wait till summer when it's super hot and the roots are shallow. That's when you're gonna see a lot of stress. And aeration actually reduces long-term stress by allowing air, water, and nutrients into the soil, as I mentioned earlier. You should consider spring aeration if you have compacted soil from season to season, you have a new construction lawn, which is huge because the soil that they put in there is poor. They usually compact it with a lot of clay and it needs a lot of work. You have water pooling, or historically you had a lot of traffic over your lawn, a lot of dogs and kids running around. If you're planning on seeding, you want that good seed to soil contact, so aeration is going to help open up that canopy. And if you're doing any top dressing, if you're trying to change that soil composition, go ahead and run the aerator over and then top dress after it.
Now, a common talking point amongst spring core aeration is the disruption of a pre-emergent or a crabgrass preventer that we might have already applied and activated when we watered it in. And this is true. When we pull a core up out of the ground, it will disrupt that vapor barrier that the pre-emergent created. But that's not to say that you can't core aerate and control weeds as well. You just have to have a plan surrounding it. What most people do is, if they did apply a pre-emergent, they will just tackle the weeds and the risk of that open real estate with a post-emergent herbicide after the weeds germinate and appear in their lawn. But another common alternative option is to use a selective herbicide, most commonly known as tenacity, with an active ingredient called mesotrione, which is a selective herbicide that has pre- and post-emergent characteristics and qualities. Another option as well is dimension, otherwise known with an active ingredient as dithiopyr, which will have some post-emergent characteristics, but also have the pre-emergent qualities in case that you didn't miss that 55 to 60 degree window and it's not too late into spring. Now, if none of those options sound good for you, but you still want to relieve compaction in the springtime, there is an alternative option, and that's with liquid aeration. And I am not sold on this, but it is an option. It has been proven to do some work on the surface of the soil, but in my opinion, it will never replace, and I mean never replace, actually core aerating your lawn.
Myth number three, you can't seed in spring. Spring seeding gets bad reputation, and honestly, for a good reason. It has less time to establish before the summer heat because you want the roots to be nice and deep in the soil before that heat arrives. Also, more weed pressure because you can't use traditional pre-emergence. Heat stress and fungus can beat up a lawn a lot more when seeded in the spring versus in the fall. But that doesn't mean that it can't be done.
So when should you seed in the spring? Well, there's a couple different circumstances. If your lawn looks like mine and you are very patchy and you have some bare areas, it's a good candidate for spring seeding. Otherwise, if you have areas that are bare and that just can't wait until fall, it's another good time to seed. You just have to set up realistic expectations. You might be someone who is moving into a new construction home and really has no choice but to seed, and you just are eager to get started on a brand new lawn of your own. Or if you have a grass type that requires overseeding and spring is just the most convenient time for you. At the end of the day, successful seeding projects can happen in spring. I, along with all of us, have done them many of times. Just have to set ourselves up for realistic expectations, knowing that there is a better time in the year to do so, but you gotta do what's convenient and best for you.
Spring seeding is all about strategy. If you're gonna seed this spring, make sure you skip that pre-emergent. The pre-emergent also is gonna prevent your grass seed from germinating. So if you don't use that pre-emergent, go ahead and use tenacity or mesotrione, which is a post-emergent that's gonna allow your grass seed to actually germinate through that, but it's gonna kill the weeds when they germinate as well. Since it's spring and you're gonna get hotter, warmer temperatures quicker and you're coming into the summer months, you're gonna be watering more regularly. Again, you're gonna be watering it like a new seeded lawn. It's light, frequent applications to keep that seed moist. And coming into summer, you might have to irrigate a little bit more or keep your sprinklers out a little longer than you would historically. Also, wetting agents are a great tactic. I have seen mixed results on them. You can get them at a big box store, Site One or Hydratane. Put that down on your seed at time of seeding, and that's supposed to help retain moisture within the seed. And after the seed has germinated and you have new grass, you can apply the same product to your soil, and it helps pull the moisture out of the atmosphere, retains it into the cell tissue of the plant, and keeps you a little bit wetter a little bit longer.
We see people fail in two areas: not knowing when to seed and properly get the success that they're looking for when it comes to spring, along with pairing that expectations of what's gonna happen when you seed. You gotta know your microclimate, you gotta know when your last frost date is, and you gotta know what seed you have and how long that's gonna germinate to set yourself up for success. Second thing is, not all grass seed is the same, and honestly, people don't do the research and get the wrong seed for their yard climate and environment. Some grass handles better in full sun, where others handle better in shade, handle well with drought, handle better in clay soil, sandy soil, etc. We've done all of the heavy lifting for you and provided our top recommendations in our free guide, What Grass is Best for Me, so you don't have to lift a finger to find the best grass seed that is ultimately going to succeed in your lawn. You can find all of our resources, including our free guide, linked down below. Go check it out.
Spring seeding works. It just requires better planning. Stop doing lawn care blindly. Devise a plan and attack it. Start understanding why you are doing something.